What is up, everybody? Charles Moore's back here with an update about this delayed Nintendo Direct. And it completely is confirmed that the Direct has been moved to next Thursday, which is the 13th. So, my thoughts on this my thought on this Nintendo Direct is one of the titles that a lot of you wanted a long time ago. Now that the Nintendo 3DS is completely, well, I should say, it's slowly dying. As many of you don't see it right now, but Nintendo wants to try to they obviously want to try to focus more on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I know that the Nintendo Direct is going to focus on both platforms, both the Nintendo Switch and the 3DS. But there could be like future Nintendo Directs where you're only going to be hearing about the Switch more than you would on the 3DS. So keep that in mind. Now, one of the titles that I am really hyped up for, I've wanted this a long time, but I think it's about time Nintendo announced like an Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch. Now, the reason why I say that is they could actually make the Nintendo Switch a console where you can interact with the people that you have online. You can invite them to go to like your towns and that stuff, and make the Nintendo Switch what the 3DS has been, where you could take it on the go. You could connect to people locally on other Nintendo Switch systems and could visit their towns. And of course, if you wanted to add them, you'd have to, I don't know how it would work for adding people. I think if the people that you met online, let's say the island or whatever, if there was another mode where you could play with other online people on like an island or something else that they would have in mind in place of an island, like a playground, whatever. You wouldn't be trading friend codes, but you could send them friend requests, and I think that's kind of what Nintendo would want you to do rather than giving out your friend code to other people. But yeah, it's almost sort of the same concept if you look at it from that perspective. Same thing as like when you battle on like Pokemon X, Y, Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, and you can like send them friend requests and add them without exchanging friend codes, and that's kind of what Nintendo is looking for. But anyway, that's my view of what Nintendo would try to go for. So, my other, let's see here, my other question here is, are we going to see, like, are we gonna see a trailer for the currently developed Metroid Prime 4, or is that going to wait until next year's E3? That's a question that I'm sure everybody is asking. I'm sure everybody loved playing Metroid Prime on the GameCube and the Wii. And I think it's almost about time that they announce the game coming to Nintendo Switch. Sometimes either next week when the Nintendo Direct airs, or if they're gonna wait until like E3 for like a currently further developed further develop the game. That's a question that I'm sure all of you are asking. I'm pretty sure all of you are hyped up for that as well. So, what other titles am I going to predict here? Well, first of all, I think I would, I think what I would predict here is possibly more DLC for, let's say, I'm gonna go with Mario Kart 8. Because Mario Kart 8 was supposed to... Nintendo has said that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was supposed to be getting more DLC. Like, they were supposed to be getting more characters in the game. That's my biggest... I wouldn't say biggest, but that's my good, accurate prediction of what would be shown at that Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna say, I don't think I'm far off to making some of these accurate guesses on what we should expect to see. And maybe DLC for well, I don't think they would release more DLC for Splatoon 2. I don't see any chance of that happening. Besides, I don't think that they could add like one more solo player mode next to Octo Expansion. I mean, there's like obviously no way I would see that happening. But if it did, I would be kind of surprised. Speaking of being surprised, I was kind of shocked that they would announce it on the 13th. Now, a while ago, this was like toward the end of August, that there was a rumor that a Nintendo Direct is supposed to happen on the 12th. And so now we're getting one on the 13th. So I have to say that whoever was making that rumor technically was not even that bad or far off from that guess. I mean, we knew we needed a Nintendo Direct sometime soon, but they pretty much almost got this right this time. Now, look, I've noticed that I've said rumors are not always right, but they can sometimes be right on a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that every time a rumor is going to get a Nintendo Direct prediction date right. I'm just saying that once in a while they can get things right. And I noticed that a rumor about a Nintendo Direct is made just about like every month. And technically they become false because, first off, like I said, you have to follow a time frame here. Like, Nintendo won't make Nintendo Directs until like 5 or 6 months later. So, you gotta understand, there's a time frame that you have to follow here. Now, I have to say, due to this earthquake that Japan has had, I'm gonna say this. The 13th is actually a very good date to delay the Nintendo Direct up to that date. Now, the reason why I say this is because it gives a chance for Japan to recover from finding everybody that had went missing from Hokkaido after that earthquake incident, and recovering, or helping those people get the rest that they need to fully recover from that earthquake. And they're trying to get power back on as well. And that's really good that Nintendo would delay a Nintendo Direct for that purpose. I have read a post on YouTube that people always come first, and then the Nintendo Direct comes second. And that is very, very true. That is the most important truth. That people are first before any event that's happening or whatever. Same thing for, let's say, for example, a NASCAR race. If a NASCAR driver's car caught on fire, the first thing that would have to happen is the staff would have to go help that person, and then secondly, the stadium would have to close because somebody had a serious injury and you'd be forced to leave the stadium because of a major injury. Same thing for an NFL stadium. If a football player had like an injury report, that means that the game does not still go on. It means that that person is taken to the hospital, and until that time that the ambulance arrives to take that person to the hospital, there is like a complete moment of silence in that football stadium. So yeah, that is my comparison to what the reason why a Nintendo Direct would be delayed. So, that pretty much is one reason why this Nintendo Direct was late, because people were suffering a very heavy loss in Hokkaido, and they were, I'm gonna say, that people were, they were scared to death, honestly. And I'm sure Nintendo has not planned on an earthquake happening. But I can totally see why they would cancel this, or not cancel, I mean, postpone the Direct up to the 13th. I know why it's important to do that, and I'm sure all of you do. It's important for the people to get help first, and then attend an event second. Cause I'd be pretty sure. What if the Nintendo Direct happened, while Hokkaido was an earthquake? Think about that. What would that say to you as a person? Would you obviously say that that would be the rudest thing for Nintendo to have a Nintendo Direct on the 6th, which it was scheduled to be on the 6th, and then all of a sudden it's like very rude to worldwide people, and everybody in the Americas, Italy, and everybody. Just imagine getting a Nintendo Direct on the 6th, and everybody but Hokkaido would be getting that Nintendo Direct. That possibly wouldn't be fair to them. And that can be understandable as well. I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm gonna say in most cases that would be Japan. They probably canceled Direct because Japan is where the Nintendo headquarters is, and secondly, I'd happen to think that let me see here. The most important thing that you can do when a disaster like that happens is postpone your event for later. That way, nobody gets left out, and nobody gets nobody gets offended, is what I'm gonna say. There's obviously no other way that I can put those into better words. the best way that I can put it, it was disastrous, it was terrible, and it was good for them to delay this Nintendo Direct up until the 13th. So, that's pretty much my thought on all of this. Now, I'll tell you where I got my, I'll tell you where the 13th came up from. It came up from a channel called Switch Force. Now, that's when the Nintendo Direct has been delayed up to. It's a good chance for everybody in Hokkaido to recover from their serious injuries and all those casualties that they suffered. And with that said, I think that this is a good wait. That's all I've got to say about this. And waiting patiently is the best thing you can do at this point. I got nothing else to say. My predictions, I pretty much don't have any more to give out right now. I'm not quite sure what else to expect for this Direct, to be honest. Yeah, I, almost have nothing else to say. Other than, I hope you guys have a good time with this Direct. I hope that all of you are hyped up for it. And I will see most of you in the next video. So, that's all I have for you today. I hope everybody has a good day today. And I will see all of you later. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. And I will see you all in the next video.